Okay.
Jackson, Tyson, Jordan. If you want to look at a camera, it's that one right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you. All right. 8, 7,
Yep.
6,
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are live.
What it do? What it do? What it do? It's your boy B. Damone in the building with Coach Gomez.
What's up? What's
This
up?
is Along the Wire, episode 127. Episode's called Surprised. And we have got a very special guest in the building whose team is undefeated right now, and he is a defensive coordinator at Kennedy High School, Matthew Harrison. What's up, man?
And thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here, man.
Hey, man,
That's
happy to
awesome.
have you. Thank you for taking out the time and being here with us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem.
It's good to see a new face in here besides coaching you all the time, man.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, so I mean, and we'd love to have more people in the studio, and the more coaches are available, and we're glad it was actually able to fit into your schedule, because I mean, talking to you on the phone, I know y'all's schedules are normally 6-7 days a week, so being able to get any time is
It's always nice, man. We stay pretty busy, you game plan Saturday through Sunday and get ready for that, Monday and get through the week and get ready for that Friday game.
Exactly. So we have gotten we actually are down to one guest. So I know I tweeted out earlier that we had two. Now we are down to one. So it's all good. The show still goes on. So what I am talking about with this show being surprised is we have schools that are undefeated that you wouldn't traditionally see be undefeated, even at this point, this early in the season. And we have schools with expectations who are undefeated, and a couple of teams that are about to go into district play or have one more game before they go into district play. And you start to look at them and see if the stuff is sustainable or I'm not saying anything's flukish.
Whether it's sustainable or not, man, being 2-0 as a program is just a great
Exactly.
confidence builder.
Exactly.
And you know that you're moving forward and you're heading in the right direction.
Exactly.
Not only that, I mean, it's like I hit last week. That's the luxury of having high school football and college football. You have different players, different coaches coming in year in and year out. It's not like the NFL where you're set with certain quarterbacks, running backs,
Right.
and you pretty much could predict who's going to be a damn good team that
Exactly.
year. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So a lot of things are changing. There's a lot of 7-on-7. There's a lot of speed and conditioning programs that are going on. There's a lot of these kids going to different trainers. So the game has evolved a lot, and I think with that comes a change in different teams coming up and going 2-0, going 3-0, possibly going 4-0.
Right.
And it's a culture change, man. That's all it is. We all got to adapt to it.
And so, like we had talked about the competition last week and how teams are scheduling, and we had a conversation about it yesterday. But iron sharpens iron
No doubt.
is what we said, and I know you'll mention that. So I'm just going to run down a couple lists of names that I took down of teams that are undefeated here in San Antonio as we go into week 3 that are 2-0 through week 2. One, we got Kennedy off top, 2-0, wins versus Navarro and Hyde Park. You got East Central at 2-0, wins over Canyon and Roosevelt. New Braunfels at 2-0 over San Marcos and Seguin. Harlandale wins over Jefferson Edison. Jay wins over LBJ, Laredo, and Medina Valley. Smithson Valley 2-0 with wins over Warren and Madison. Now you might be thinking Smithson Valley, why are they on this? But they had a lot of change.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. Not only that, I mean, Madison does got some players on that squad.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's something.
And they shut them out.
They did. They did. And having Coop out It's a huge loss as well.
Exactly.
That's a great receiver.
Exactly. Alamo Heights is 2-0. They beat Bernie and Churchill. Lanier 2-0, beating Corpus Christi, King, and Pearsall. Southwest Legacy 2-0. They beat Burbank and Medina Valley. And Central Catholic 2-0, beating Bernie Geneva and Southwest High School. So those are the schools that I just want to point out. But there are other schools that are 2-0. You got your Marshalls, you got your Jays I could put up there.
Yep.
Like that's one I definitely want to say. John Jay being 2-0. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Holmes is 2-0.
Yeah.
My school before West Campus.
You got to
2-0.
You got to claim one, man. Come on now. Okay, what is your diploma say?
I'm 3-1 since West Campus is 1-1.
There you go.
Holmes is 2-0.
What does your diploma say?
West Campus.
Okay, you
West Campus. West
Yep.
Campus.
You're a cougar.
You're a cougar,
You're a
bro.
cougar.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. So some of the things that I wanted to talk about on this is good starts and what they mean heading into district play. So you look at a school, let's take well, since we have you here,
Yeah.
I talked about last week and with you on the phone about how you schedule, because you know the talent and the squad that y'all have. So you and the rest of the coaching staff get together to try to make a schedule that tests your team
Yes.
and get y'all prepped for district.
Yes.
So what is some of the thought process in putting together the schedule at Kennedy?
Yeah. So for us, our history as of right now, we hadn't won many games,
Mhm.
Recently, and so our thought process going into this is like, how can we schedule some teams that should give us a challenge and hopefully set us up, to be successful in district, because
Right.
that's the key. You want to enter district on a high. You want to go in with some
Yeah.
wins, and you want to go out there and you want to compete a little bit before you get there and see where you're at. And we've been lucky to come away with 2 wins at the beginning of the season, to be honest with you. We went into these, we scheduled these games thinking, hey, we're going into these games, this is going to be some competitive matchups for us. It's
Right.
going to test us as a team,
Right.
and let us know exactly where we're at.
Yeah.
Right.
And Navarro, is that Navarro that's out there by Seguin, right?
No, so this is Austin Navarro.
Oh, okay,
Austin
okay,
Navarro.
okay.
Austin
Austin
Navarro.
Navarro.
Yep. Austin Hyde Park. Yeah.
So with that in mind, so far y'all are 2-0.
Yep.
What are some things that your players have shown you that they're a little bit ahead of the curve, or they're right on the money with?
So, going back to, like you said earlier, iron sharpens iron. So at the beginning of last season, we went 0-5 during our COVID year. We only had 5 games, and we went divisions, right? So in our division, we went 0-5, but we had some really, really close games against Lanier and Jefferson, right? That Jefferson went on, played first round of the playoffs, and then Lanier was our district champion that year.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, okay, hey, we see we're starting to move in the right track. So our commitment at the end of the year was, when we got together as, staff and athletes, was, hey, we need iron sharpens iron. We need to get better. What do we got to do to change and implement what we need to do as a program to get better, right? So as far as what we did is, our kids really committed themselves in the off season. So coming back, after football season in January, the kids committed themselves. And that's the big thing that we've seen so far, is our commitment level has grown.
That's what I was just going to say, is how much has the community and the kids, because I'm from that area. I grew up right there in Jug McMullen and Aldalma.
Yeah.
Just on the other side. So I know what goes on in that area. You know what I mean? So as far as the community, the kids, the culture, they need to buy into it in order to be successful. And in the past, Kennedy didn't have the success going in because they weren't committed, or grades would pop up and you lose half of your team.
Yeah.
So how different has that been, coming in this year and a new culture with new coaches?
Yeah. So, so far it's been great. Like I said, our kids really bought in the off season in January. And it was our job as a coaching staff to get together and try and put together a program for these kids to, be successful.
Right.
Monitor them, making sure we're on top of grades, making sure that we're hitting the weights hard. Because that's another thing that we made as a promise as a part team, is we were going to be stronger.
Yeah.
we're going to be better and we're going to be more committed. And that iron, iron sharpens iron. We're going to be in that weight room, building those bonds, bleeding, sweating together, getting better, being more committed to what we know we had to do coming up this season. And so the kids really bought into that. They really bought into the weight room. They really, really bought into the program. And, right now I can say it's a brotherhood, right?
Right.
The bond has tightened. We've had some really great practices and we're seeing some really good results.
Are y'all doing any activities outside of football? Maybe, watching a movie in the gym, having some team barbecue, something like that?
So, yes, so one of our D-line coaches having D-line barbecues with his guys, and then we're meeting with the kids, of course, just watching film, getting together and, kind of just talking it up. Some things that we didn't get to do very much last year, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I think that's also helped, being able to bond with the kids, talk to them a little bit more, get with them, you know, and build that family mentality that we want to build, because it is a community. It takes a community to win.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that's that keeps on coming back. As in, how can we get San Antonio to improve? Each school has to understand that it is a community effort.
I mean, if the coach can sell it to the kid, right? The kid goes home and tells what mom and dad when they're eating. Man, coach is awesome at school. Da, 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 da.
Right.
You sell it to the parents, and the parents are like, all right, cool. I want to see what this is about.
Right.
And the parents start showing up to the meetings all the time, and they start getting involved.
Right.
So it starts at the top, right? And you got to sell it, be able to sell it, and then everybody ends up coming to you, man. And Lanier's just down the street. And Lanier has some damn good seasons every now and then. Why? Because the community buys into it, man. Everybody buys into it. Everybody's at the game. You got to be able to sell it, man.
All right. And one of the things that you spoke about yesterday, you don't have to get into the examples that you gave me, but it's like how you say with the community, it's starting a culture, because like how everybody might assume when Judson or Steele throws on a jersey that they're going out there and they're going to win because of the jersey they have on.
Yeah.
Just because you put on, I'm not going to throw a school on it, any other school that isn't traditionally a winner, just because you throw that jersey on does not mean that you're about to go out there and take a L.
No, it doesn't. And that's where, you see, when we used to do our 7-on-7 back then, when I first started the competitive part of it, I had reached out to Coach Kurt when he was out there at South San, Willie Hall when he was out there before he retired at Brackenridge. I had reached out to Coach Van Schut before he left from MacArthur. So I had reached out to some of the coaches, and we had got some of these high school so-called select teams. But when you do stuff like that, you can match up South San versus a MacArthur, and they get to see each other and just like, man, look at the kind of athletes they got.
Right.
And, man, look how big they are. Obviously, they're hitting the weight room. So you leave there thinking, well, man, how come they're that big? Why need to hit the weight room?
Right.
So Brackenridge, we would scrimmage MacArthur, in 7-on-7, or they would have Judson, some of the Judson guys. Well, you've seen the teams we mess with.
Exactly.
So we had a mixture of kids. And when they go back to their schools, man, they have a different mentality at times. You know what I mean? Some of these coaches don't like the 7-on-7, and I could understand why. But if you were to mix it across the city, instead of just playing in your district, I think it would open some eyes across the table for everyone.
No, I agree with you. We actually got a little lucky this summer. We were able to come out and do 7-on-7 here with some of the north side schools over at Stevens High School.
Okay.
And so it was great for our kids to have that opportunity to go out there and compete against that level, level of football. Exactly. And some of those athletes, we got to, go up against Warren and Stevens. So that was really, really good for us. And the kids took a lot away from that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They learned to compete.
Yeah, which is always.
And he hit it right on the head. You learn to compete because you know what I mean. You're gonna get exposed, and you got to go hard, and you got to communicate, especially on 7-on-7. And if you haven't played it, it could be really, really fast for you.
Yeah,
and that's just like I don't want to. I mean, we just had him on the show, and Antonio, when he was talking about playing with the bootleggers and playing with everybody else over there in 7-on-7. And how the game slows down. So when you're taking your squad over there who might not ever get a chance to play against these Northside kids, and like you said, they learn to compete.
Yes.
And they bring that back to that district, that's going to bring the district up.
Or they leave, every kid with it. Man, well, you know what? I see them, they ain't that good. I could be that good. You know what I mean? And then they come back, let me just put in that work and I can get there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It just opens their eyes, bro, because I'm going to be honest, like I said, some of them kids don't even get out of that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm being frankly
Yeah.
honest because I'm from there, bro.
Yeah.
So I can actually say that. You know, so
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where it opens your eyes, man.
So going into next week, y'all have Burbank.
Yes.
How long is the celebration period from one win and going into focusing on the next week? And what's the mentality in the field of your team right now going into district?
Man, so right now I think we have a positive mentality, but man, to be honest with you, at the end of the game against Hyde Park, it's enjoy tonight because tomorrow we're getting back to work.
Yeah.
It starts all over again, the process every week. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I love our kids. They're great kids, and they've really bought into this program, and we're doing some really cool things. And so, like, that mentality change shows up every day in practice. We do keep it pretty high tempo. We make sure that the kids are ready, conditioned to go for the next weekend, and hopefully we can bring out some prizes this next week against Burbank and walk away, with another victory. That's a goal.
Awesome.
So, as a defensive coordinator, is the goal always a shutout? How much do you hate points?
Man, I love donuts on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
As a defensive coordinator, shutouts are great.
Yeah.
But being realistic, you're not always going to be able to get that. That every single game, and you come up against some high-powered offenses who, they're going to have an opportunity to put the ball in the end zone. So, but the goal is, every week we're talking about. Hey, I'm telling you, we're talking about getting those big donuts on the board, man. We want to win.
Sure.
But,
Well, I see y'all are 1 for 2 right now.
yeah,
y'all are 1 for 2. So I mean that's awesome. But hey, as long as the 0 is them leaving with the loss and an O on their win record if they're winless,
Oh yeah, man.
that's all that matters.
yeah.
That's all that matters. So let me see. Pulling this up.
Defensively, you're just like, man, you bend but you don't break, right?
Yeah,
Just,
man.
anything can happen on that drive: a fumble, interception, anything. Yeah, if they come up with 3, that's ideal.
That's what I tell the kids. Bow the back, stiffen the neck, man.
Yep.
You bend but don't break.
Yeah.
So you personally, you came over from Pleasanton,
Yes.
going over to Kennedy.
Mhm.
So how long have you been coaching in high school football now? And what's your philosophy?
So this is going to be my 6th year coaching.
Right.
I was an assistant coach for 4 of those years. Last year was my first year as a defensive coordinator at Kennedy High School. Coach, I took over after Coach Leandro Gonzalez left to take over as a head coach over at West Campus.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Yep. So, my philosophy, man, is my mentality as a defensive coach is that we're going to play hard and we're going to play fast. I don't want it to be too complicated where the kids can't, where I just want it to be simple for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So when we step on the field, that we can play as fast as we possibly can, and and hopefully come away with a W, and hopefully do what we've been doing so far and shut out teams. We preach situational stuff this year, which I think has made a big impact on our team. We have first down Monday, second down Tuesday, third down Wednesdays, and basically we're preaching scenarios, right? Like,
Right.
if we're in this situation, this is what we got to do,
Yeah.
and what do we have to do to execute it? And that's been a big key. I think as far as us defensively trying to meet that play fast, play hard, and get better every week. And right now, the coolest thing is we're doing this thing. If you ever get to come out and check us out, we're swarming to the ball. That's our thing, right?
Yeah.
So if you ever get to come watch one of our games, you're going to see our boys. Every time we make a play, they're going to get up and swarm. They're going to yell swarm.
Right.
Because that's the mentality that we're trying to put in place. And then, same as a team, we're trying to bring back that winning culture, learn how to win. That's our big thing. Coach Ben Benavides has worked real hard, and, he's put together a great staff for me and for, our offensive staff.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really pushing. Hey, let's bring back the winning ways. I think I told the kids it's been 49 years since John F. Kennedy High School's held up a golden ball, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Held up a golden ball.
Yeah.
Now, our first goal is we want to win games, right? We want to win. then hopefully give ourselves an opportunity for the playoffs. But by doing those things, hopefully we set ourselves up, and we might have a chance to hold that golden ball up one more time.
Yeah, and
That's
it
the
might
goal.
be all's year. I mean, anything can happen. They saw that what happened down the street with Memorial. I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody saw that.
Yeah.
And like I said, Lanier's down the street. Why not Kennedy?
Yep.
Why not y'all? I think if y'all spend the time, like you said, in the weight room, work on technique, because technique's a big factor, man. I mean, a lot of these kids are undersized, but if you have a good technique and you're strong, I mean, you can hold your block for 3 seconds, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got to just hold it for 3 to 4 seconds, and you're good. So I'm excited to see what y'all do this season, man. I'll be rooting for y'all.
Thank you.
All right, I have one question for the both of you, and then one question for you, and then we'll move on to the next segment.
Sounds good.
You said just now that you're coaching situational football and you're pushing that. In doing that, is there a way for you to increase your players' IQ by giving them that awareness?
Oh yes, no doubt, bro. No doubt.
Because I know a lot of times when people make that boneheaded play, it's like, what were you thinking?
Yep.
What were you doing? And I mean, a lot of times it either the player's like, hey, I wanted to get some get back, or it's like,
No, because when he's talking situation, you're talking about, all right, at a certain position in the field, you're talking depth. You don't want to get too far. You don't want to get too close.
Yep.
We're talking about responsibility as far as side to side. I don't want to go into his zone, maybe. You know what I mean? So that's all just situation, and you're teaching about, all right, cool, on third down, they might hit this out, or they might go right here, and stuff like that. Right. Just so their juices are flowing as a cornerback that's probably never even played there. All right, well, coach went down through the possibilities, so he's going through his Rolodex in his head.
Yep.
All right, these are the possibility things I can see out of this. You know what I mean? And if they start grasping it sooner, they might do route recognition at that point.
Right.
And exactly then now it's like, all right, cool, I'm starting to recognize routes. Now I can undercut routes if I want. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it all depends, man.
Exactly.
Speaking on that, like, great example was last other night when we were playing Hyde Park. Situational football. It's a passing down. Quarterback rolls out, corner cuts it just like he's supposed to, picks it off, takes it to the house. I mean, that's exactly like Coach said. We're trying to get those guys to think on the fly. So
it comes naturally.
It comes natural, yeah. So when they're out there on the field, like you said, okay, Coach told me it's this down. Okay, I got to be ready for this. This is what's going on.
Right. Yeah. Okay, and I've known Coach Harrison here for over 10 years now.
Oh yeah.
So I know you're a huge Tennessee Titan fan.
Yes, I am.
So, are there any complexities or any parts of that defense that you look at that you've tried to bring in?
So,
because I mean, we've had conversations about coaching before you coached.
Yes.
So,
you know me, man. I'm a student of the game, and I think every great coach is a student of the game, and I love watching college football, high school football, NFL football, and any little thing you can take away, man, to give you just a little bit of an edge, and make your team just a little bit better. Yeah. I mean, you're always looking for something new, and that's why I love coaching school. Going to coaching school, getting to hear the college coaches come and talk to us, and high school coaches who've had great successes. Well, what do they do that makes them better? And then can I take that? What can I take away from that? Help my program.
Right. All right. Well, Coach Harrison, thank you so much. He's not leaving, but we're gonna be moving on to our next segment. And if y'all have any questions, do we have anything going on social media wise right now? All right. So we're gonna be moving on to this next segment of our top 25 along the wire, top 25, and let's go from 25 and up. At 25, and I've added the plus minus so that y'all know like the point differentials and things like that. So for those asking me, what's plus 27, what's minus 3 and all that, that's the teams over under of their points scored compared to opponents. Got it?
Yep.
All right. So number 25, Holmes High School, 2-0, plus 33. At number 24, John Marshall, 2-0. 23, John Jay,
I'm glad to see them back, bro. Last year they had a
2-0.
tough season.
Yeah.
They had a tough season.
And I mean, and then when you think about that, you start thinking about the players on that team.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wish they were here to be a part of this now. But,
Yep.
you know, number 22, Southside, they took the loss to Somerset. They are down to 22. 21, we got Harlandale in there at 2-0 at a plus 79. And then we have got Kennedy at number 20, 2-0 at plus 98. So everybody, all the players who are tuned in right now, you know, this is one of the reasons why I do the rankings up to 25. I could easily just have a top 5 or a top 10 and that's it. And then everybody's like, well, who's this? Who's that? You know, and these rankings, all my rankings have some motivation in them. So if people are like, oh, I know some 1-1 teams, or I know when 0-2 Clemens is better than, well, they're 0-2. Okay. So 19, we got Somerset at 2-0. 18, we got Southwest Legacy at 2-0. 17, we got Clark at 1-1. They just lost their last game to Canyon by 3 points. We got Wagner that just came in and dominated Stevens 69-0.
That was a total shock.
Hey, that's what can happen when
Yes, sir.
when things start falling.
Yep.
When things start falling your way, it just keeps rolling. Number 15, we got East Central at 2-0. Congratulations to them, man. Congratulations to them. Madison just took a loss to Smithson Valley. They come in at number 14 at 1-1. Number 13, New Braunfels at 2-0 at a plus 39 differential. Number 12, Floresville, 2-0, plus 24. And they were in a really good game versus Antonia in that first week.
Oh, yeah.
That was really nice. Antonia is another school that nice. Next up, we've got Johnson at number 11, 2-0 at a plus 39 differential. And now we're getting into our top 10. And we were just talking about this game on IG before. They may have lost, but Vets Memorial, 1-1, has a very impressive team. I will go into after that. At number 10, Vets Memorial. Number 9, we got Alamo Heights at 2-0. Number 8, we got Central Catholic at 2-0. Just beat Bernie Geneva at a plus 61 differential right now. Number 7, we got Taft at 2-0 with a plus 24 differential. Number 6, Bernie Champion 2-0. Number 5, Judson coming off the loss to Lake Travis. Number 4, Steele at 2-0. And number 3, Smithson Valley at 2-0. Number 2, Brandeis at 2-0. And number 1, your San Antonio Brennan Bears at 2-0 at a plus 38 differential.
Saw that game, man. That was a good game.
Yeah, Clemens and Brennan.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about this top 25 and go down with some of the stuff that we saw. I know you were at the Central Catholic game. I was watching the Central Catholic game. You were obviously at your game. So perfect. Love having you here right now. Because, you know, like I just said, I do a little bit of motivating when I do my rankings or anything like that. So, like, you know, some kids, and I've even told them on IG, and they'll reach out to me on their own and be like, hey, well, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. And it's like, well, what do you think about it? And if it gets them to be like, okay, well, I'm going to show you, then that's what I did it for.
Yeah.
That's what I did it for. And as I get to know some of the kids, then that's how you kind of pull strings. Even as coaches, y'all know how to try to get, and you try to work what you can to get the best out of your player.
Yeah.
So when y'all see these, know that I'm never doing anything to pit a kid versus a kid or to be the detriment to another kid.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, some kids, if they're really about the business,
Yeah,
All this, bro.
it
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
exactly
Doesn't matter, bro. It's all opinion, bro. It's all opinion based.
exactly. So that's my question to you. So if you have a kid, and while it's great to be 2-0, nobody get the big head.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Nobody get the big head.
No.
So you have a school now that is 2-0, and while I might recognize them, what other people or medias may not yet, um, how do you turn something like this into motivation?
Man, so for us, I always talk about we set our feet upon a path, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I tell our kids. You've set your feet upon a path. You guys decided where you want to be at the end of the season. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. This is your path.
Right.
What are you going to do each and every day to, get better, to make sure that you stay successful, to make sure that we keep getting better in the weight room, we keep getting better on the field, and that we're ready every Friday or Thursday night when we're going to go out there on that field,
Mm-hmm.
put the helmet on, put the pads on, and get to compete against somebody else.
Yep.
I mean, it's all about, keeping that mentality that this is our goal.
It's a mental state, bro.
Right.
It's a mental state. There's a player that I work with close, two players that I work with closely that, what I'm saying, Thursday nights, them dudes are getting their cryotherapy, and they're going to eat their dinner or whatever, pasta, whatever, to get their carbohydrates, and they're crashed out early, about 10:30. You know what I mean?
Getting that rest. They know they got rest is important.
Pep rally, you got all this stuff, a long day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got some athletes that want to be up till 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, thinking it's a regular day for them. Then they're getting up early for school, and you got a long day. And then you're trying to sneak in a nap, which is not really good for you. When you're already tired, it's going to make you more tired, right?
Because you got to wake all the way back up.
Yeah,
and that's why I always ask
players. And then you're trying to play like that. You're trying to play, and then you probably don't eat well during the day. So there's a lot of factors, like it's like you said, it's a mentality you got to have, and it's not just one day; it's all week, bro. I mean, there's guys that we know that, Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday, even though they go work at school, they're still working on their side with their strength coaches, injury prevention, right? And then, like I said, Thursday cryotherapy, right? And then Friday we're resting, getting ready to play a game in the evening. You know what I'm saying? So it's all a mental state, bro. It's all a mental state, bro.
Exactly. So let's talk about a couple of the games. I know we're gonna go over our pick'ems later, but was there anything that stood out to you? Let's start off with the Southside Somerset game. That was one in which it had complexities. I was out with a friend of ours at the game, and he brought it up that, hey, this game, Wagner could turn out just like Somerset and Southside if things go right and the physicality is not there. And when you have a certain style of offense versus another style of offense, the styles make fights, right? So the styles make the matchup. And if one isn't clicking, it can definitely feed and help the other.
Oh, yeah.
In just their implementation. Like you look at Stevens, the game before playing Wagner, they threw the ball 68 times. But they also had 48 completions. So if you're going up against Wagner and you're not having that success in the passing game, you're putting your defense up against a sword.
Yep.
Just based off of the speed, and Wagner knows that offense like the back of their hand.
Yeah.
And then so, not that coaching staff. How do you stop that bleed? Or how do you not recognize that you're bleeding? If the perception is different from the stands to being on the sidelines.
So Somerset, what they did to Southside was try to keep Southside high potent offense off the field. So what are you going to do? Grind it out. You know what I mean? And there was even a point when I was at the Central Bernie Geneva game where Bernie Geneva started trying to, what they would do is drop their quarterback back. They would get into coverage and they'd have the quarterback take off. So what do you have to respect the pass. So you're going to drop back whatever defense we were calling at the time. And the dude would just take off. So you got to pick your poison, right? So what they were trying to do is control the clock. and keep the offense. Central, I don't know if
Right.
you saw the game, but like in the third quarter, Central didn't have the ball that long because they were trying to control the clock. You take it back to Central and Southwest. Southwest, once they got a rhythm, Southwest, what were they doing? Grounding and pounding.
Right.
What were they trying to do? Keep a high potent offense off the field. You know, yeah, I'm gonna nickel and dime it, but I'm getting first downs. I'm eating up the clock. It's gonna be an ugly game, and that's why it was probably a slow. What was it? A 10-7 game, whatever.
10-6.
10-6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you keep Richard, you keep Torres off the field. He's not gonna get a rhythm.
Yep.
You know what I
Right.
mean? He gets there.
Exactly.
He's probably getting there
Exactly.
frustrated. You know what I mean? You got the crowd in his head probably after a while too. You're just sitting there,
Exactly.
dude. I mean, give it all to Detmer, man. He did a great job.
Did do a great job, man. It's like you're saying, play the field position game, right? Grind the ball down. Hopefully, if you have to punt the ball or give them the ball, hopefully they're on that side of the field where your defense can stand up and make a stop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and shout out to Brennan and Clemens. I went out to that game as well. Lord, there's some hitters and there's some talent that's going to be coming up through both of those programs, and you see the focus already. I know we've had conversations. You see the focus being there with Clemens.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bubble. Like, I know I said them on the rankings with the 0-2 and everything, but that is a dangerous 0-2 team.
I mean, everything happens for a reason, right? You know,
Right.
they had their senior quarterback that went down. You know what I mean? So
And now you got Alvarez.
yeah. So if you had their senior quarterback with that much more experience, I mean, of course, Max was there last year, but still the practice experience, being
Yeah.
around the game, stuff like that, it makes a difference. So you had Alvarez going there, made some mental mistakes. There was a fumble there at one time that led into a touchdown. You know, you take away some of those young mistakes, it would have been a whole different ball game.
Exactly.
You know, but one thing that Clemens did not ever do was give up, man. That defense was still swarming. I mean, was it Freddie DeBose?
Yes.
That dude, he's gonna be something special,
Yeah.
man, on that kickoff return.
Yeah.
And they could have gave up. He never did. And guess what? All those dudes are sophomores.
Yeah.
All young players, bro.
Yep.
So they're gonna have something. You know, he's
going up against the juniors. Well, Brennan's heavy juniors this year, so I mean, that's gonna just hone them like iron sharpens iron.
And you could tell in the beginning because it was a battle.
Yeah.
I mean, the first half was seriously a battle. And the only reason Brennan was in there because of those mistakes. That early fumble inside the 20 or the 30.
Right.
That made a huge difference, man. That would make a huge difference.
And that can sway because I mean, even in the Lake Travis Judson game, that was a 7-7 game, and then all of a sudden, like, you start having these mental errors and breakdowns and cues, or a couple of calls don't go your way, and then it just steamrolls into something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so shout out Brennan and Clemens. We talked about Southside. So y'all blew Hyde Park out. When in there do you start changing up the game plan to work on things in the future? And do you take people out to get to start getting people more field experience?
Yeah, so that's a good question.
How do you balance that? I mean,
so we try and balance it, man. You know, Hyde Park, you know, shout out to their coaching staff. They work hard with those kids, and they came out, you know, to play a football game like everybody does every Friday night. And you know, just early on, like you said, we were able to get things rolling, momentum going in our end, and then in games like that, you get opportunities to get some guys in and get those extra reps, get those guys out on the field. So hopefully, like it's like I tell the guys, it's next man up mentality, right? You got to be ready to go. So if somebody goes down, right, you've got to step in and you got to be able to replace them and know what's going on the field. So it's always a great time to get those guys in, give them opportunities for success out on the field,
no doubt,
and get that playing time.
Yeah, because you're only as strong as your weakest link, man.
Exactly.
All right. So that's talking a little bit of football in our top 25 for the Along the Wire. Now we are going to go into our pick'em segment. And
you ready to catch that W?
Yeah.
Nah, you know, I'm gonna be honest, man. This week's was tough.
What was that nickname you gave him last time?
Who's that?
You thought he had lost?
Who?
Yeah, I thought
Oh,
you
second place.
Second
Yeah.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
second place. Second
Right now,
place.
I'm 1-0.
So I was telling producer Joe before the show, we got to get a running tally. I know you keep the tally, so like
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so we'll have to.
You got one? You got a
We'll
running
have
tally?
to do that.
No, but I need
All
to
right,
get one for you.
so Coach Harrison, what we do is every week we go through the pick'ems and we just guess and see like who's gonna win what. You know, like a
Okay,
pick'em, like
yeah.
a pick'em. So we're gonna go down this list.
You gonna get yours? You wanna
Right
get
here.
yours,
Hey, and,
then?
and shout out to
I
you,
got mine
Coach
right here.
Gomez. Really proud of you, man. You had the little extra in your graphics. You know, the little pencil,
Like that?
books. Yeah.
Hey,
man.
pencil and books, man.
Coach
Yeah.
Ben Benavidez says, "Good job, Coach." Mr. Rainey says, "What's up, fellas? Y'all are doing a great job. Thank you so much, Mr. Rainey. Appreciate you."
Yes, sir.
I can't make out what that first one says. They use like
Donuts. They had
different
donuts.
italics.
Donuts, bro.
That's that donut
That's
talk y'all were
donuts, man.
talking
Yep.
about.
Oh,
Donuts.
donuts. Okay,
It looks like Stephanie maybe or Stefan.
Stefan.
Donuts.
Yeah.
All right, so we're starting off with Burbank
Somebody took my
Southwest.
footballs. You're a copycat, bro. Get your own stuff. Get your own stuff. That was last year's stuff,
No.
bro. Get your
Hey,
own.
hey! This is my first time doing it. I used to just use like a little highlighter and put it on there.
Hey, no, he had a napkin, bro. And write it on there and then take a picture and then send it to us. We'll try to show it to you.
So
That's awesome.
here we go. We got Burbank Southwest Legacy. I had Southwest Legacy. Southwest Legacy won 21-10.
My bad. I thought he was pulling them up. I got
Yeah, it's flipping through.
I got you right now, bro. Southwest Legacy. I had Southwest Legacy.
All right,
Here, let's go, Brandon, right here.
all right, cool.
Those are the laws.
Lanier versus Pearsall. I had Lanier. Lanier won 40-0. Who'd you have?
I had Pearsall.
YMLA versus Luling. I had
Who won?
what?
On that one? Pearsall and Lanier?
Lanier.
Lanier did?
Yeah,
Who'd you have?
Lanier. YMLA versus Luling. I had YMLA. YMLA won 6-2.
Damn, I had Looney.
Ooh, not the watermelon thump. They got thumped.
You won,
Let's see.
right?
Yes. Brandeis versus Warren. I had Brandeis. Who'd you have?
I had Brandeis.
Brandeis won 21-7. Clemens versus Brennan. Who did you have?
Brandon.
I had Brennan as well. Brennan won 27-10. Stevens versus Wagner. I had Stevens. As we spoke, Wagner. Who'd you have in that one? Stevens?
I had Stevens.
Yeah, Wagner.
You?
I had Stevens as well, so I lost that one.
Damn, that was your first loss, bro.
You know, I try not to have too many.
Damn. Okay.
Holy Cross versus Brian Brazos Christian.
I had Holy Cross.
I had Holy Cross as well, and that game actually switched up.
Yeah,
So,
we got coaches graphics on,
So who
on
won?
screen right now.
Holy Cross won.
All right.
Holy Cross won.
I think they ended up playing Corpus Christi JP2.
Yeah. Jefferson versus Corpus Christi Moody.
I had Moody.
I had Jefferson, and Moody won 49-13. Poteet versus Crystal City. I had Poteet. Who'd you have?
I had Poteet.
Poteet won 55-7.
Who'd you have?
I had Poteet. Next up, Central Catholic Bernie Geneva. I had Central Catholic. Central Catholic won. You had Central Catholic.
Yeah, so,
All right. Alamo Heights versus Churchill.
Heights.
I had Alamo Heights. Alamo Heights won 21-13. Brackenridge versus Lee. Who'd you have?
I had Lee.
I had Brackenridge won 35-27.
God bless.
Bernie Champion versus MacArthur. Who'd you have?
Champion.
I had Champion as well. Champion won 56-0. Madison versus Smithson Valley. I had Madison. Madison lost.
I had Smith and Valley.
All right. Smithson Valley won 28-0. Reagan versus Steele. I had Reagan.
I had Steele.
Steele won 14-6.
Oh yeah.
Roosevelt
we tied it
versus
up. We tied it up, baby. We tied it up,
Roosevelt
Joe.
versus East Central. Who'd you have?
East Central.
I had Roosevelt. Roosevelt lost 20-32. Medina Valley versus John Jay. Who did you have?
John Jay.
I had John Jay as well. John Jay won 24-14. Let's see. All right. Eagle Pass versus Marshall. Who'd you have?
Marshall.
I had Marshall as well. Marshall won 27-26. I was kind of surprised I was that close. 27-26. Harlan versus Laredo United.
I had United on that one.
I had Harlan.
Did
Harlan won 250 yards later. Russian, baby. Harlandale versus Edison. Who'd you have?
Harlandale.
I had Harlandale as well. Harlandale won 31-0. Bernie versus Gregory Portland. Who'd you have?
Bernie.
I had Bernie as well. Bernie won 35-28. New Braunfels versus Seguin. Who did you have?
New Braunfels.
I had New Braunfels as well. The New Braunfels won 35-15. Laredo United South versus South San. Who'd you have?
Man, I had South San.
Why?
Because I was repping Tone, man. What's wrong with you?
I had Laredo United South.
All right.
I need W, sir.
And
Shout out Phil Barone.
All right, so you had the W, right?
He went to West Campus with me.
And then I had the L.
Let's see. McCullum versus Austin Navarro. Who'd you have?
McCullum.
Where is that one? This is when it doesn't get reported at the same time. Where is it? All right, here we go. I have McCullum as well. McCullum won 65-13. Kennedy versus Austin Hyde Park. Who'd you have?
Kennedy.
Let me see. All right, I'm just making
Come
sure.
on, man.
Make sure you didn't change it before you got
It's
here.
on screen
It
too,
would-
Brandon. It's
Yeah.
on screen.
Bro, I emailed this earlier
I'm just
in
saying.
the week, bro.
I
Come on.
had Kennedy as well. Kennedy won. Here we go. Yeah,
You probably just did it because you knew you were going to have him on the show. I know the way you work, Brandon.
Let's see. Eagle Pass win versus Uvalde. Who'd you have?
Eagle Pass win.
I had Eagle Pass win as well. Eagle Pass win won 34-18. Floresville versus Southwest. Who'd you have?
Floresville.
I had Floresville as well. Floresville won 36-13. Antonian versus Pleasanton. Who'd you have?
Antonian.
I had Antonian as well. They won 19-17. Nueces Canyon versus San Antonio. What school is that? San Antonio.
I went with Nueces Canyon. You missed the Lido one also in the Northeast? Or was it in order?
It's not in order. San Antonio. I guess it's not reported. I'm not seeing it on here.
You probably took the L. That's why it's not reported. You know how he does that, right, Joe? Every now and then. Yeah.
I don't tell them not to report scores.
Every now, because I can't find it for you.
I can't find it.
That's all right, Coach. We got the hard copies.
We do. We'll go back.
Let's see. All right. Where are we at? Carn City versus Victoria St. Joseph's.
Carn City.
I had Carn City as well. And Carn City lost 20-33.
God bless.
Davenport versus Austin St. Michael's. I had Davenport.
I had Davenport.
Davenport won 34-24. Gonzalez versus Austin Crockett.
Gonzalez.
I had Gonzalez as well. Where are we at? I wish I could cut and paste and just put these in the same order. I'm not seeing it. Gonzalez versus Austin Crockett. I'm not seeing it. Okay, on to the next. Ingram Moore versus Johnson City. Who'd you have? I had Johnson City.
Ingram Moore.
All right. It's not on here. What is up with that? Come on, K-Shat. Sabinal versus Harper. I had Harper. Who'd you have?
7 now.
Mm-hmm. I had Harper. Harper won 55-8.
Oh, you found that one. Come on now.
TMI versus Center Point. Who'd you have?
Hold on real quick. TMI.
TMI won 49-14.
Who'd you have?
TMI. Stockdale versus Flatonia. Who'd you have?
Stockdale.
I had Stockdale as well. Stockdale lost 26-28. Poth versus Fall City. This is a shocker.
I had Fall City.
I had Poth. Poth won 17-14. I didn't think it was gonna be that close because
Yeah, those are usually good games right there.
Post one.
yeah. Nixon Smiley versus Three Rivers. Who'd you have?
Three Rivers.
I had Nixon Smiley.
Who won?
Three Rivers, 25-12. This is one. Charlotte or Dilly? Who'd you have?
I actually had Charlotte.
I had Dilly. I'm not going against what's the Dilly-o.
And they won.
Dilly won 35-0. 39-0. I'm sorry. Don't want to short y'all your 4 points or your 4 points. Here we go. Randolph versus Schulenberg. Who'd you have?
Schulenberg.
I had Randolph, and Schulenberg won 12-0. Goliad versus Marion. Who'd you have?
Marion.
I had Marion as well. Marion won 44-26. Shout out Jay Willie.
Jay Willie was not even around.
I know. Comfort versus Mason. Who'd you have?
Comfort.
I had Comfort too, and Mason won 39-6. Shiner versus Blanco.
I had Shiner.
I had Shiner as well. Shiner won 41-7. All right, here we go. Clark versus New Braunfels Canyon. Who'd you have?
Clark.
Clark lost. I had Clark as well. They lost 41-31. Judson versus Lake Travis. Who'd you have?
Judson.
I had Judson, and they lost 52-20. Memorial versus Divine. Who'd you have?
Let's see. Memorial versus who? Divine?
Yeah.
I had Memorial.
I had Memorial as well. They lost 44-23. Southside versus Somerset. Who'd you have?
I had Southside.
I had Southside as well. They lost 10-6. Fredericksburg versus Kerrville Tybee.
That was a shock. I went for Kerrville Tybee and Fredericksburg won.
I had Fredericksburg.
Did you? You probably went off my pick last week. That's why.
Fredericksburg won 44-27.
You know he got to sneak one in there, Coach.
LaGrange versus Canyon Lake. Who'd you have?
LaGrange.
LaGrange lost 31-14. I had LaGrange as well. Lavernia versus Navarro. Who'd you have?
Navarro.
Navarro won. I had Navarro as well. Throwing me off. You put it like that. Navarro 35-6 over Lavernia. Here we go. Corpus Christi, Cal Allen versus Jordanton. Who'd you have?
Cal Allen.
Cal Allen. I had Cal Allen as well. They won 55-20. Cuero versus Wimberley. Who'd you have?
Cuero.
I had Cuero as well. Shout out Jay Witt.
They win or lose?
They won 21-3. Do you have West Campus or Austin Achieve?
I think I may have win against West Campus. Hold on. I'll tell you right now.
You picked South Sam, but not West Campus.
Because they had like a JV team, dog. They're just starting.
I'd pick Edison for you.
I did not pick Edison, bro. I picked Harlandale. Hold on. Who What was I looking for again?
South San West Campus versus Austin Achieve.
West Campus. Where's that one at?
Should be the second to last one.
Second to the last page.
Yeah.
Austin Achieve.
Mm.
Who'd you pick?
West Campus. They achieved to give you an L.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Catula versus Bandera. Who'd you have?
Petula.
I had Bandera.
And who won?
Bandera won 14-13.
You're on a roll right now, dog.
Carrizo Springs versus St. Anthony. Who'd you have?
Carrizo Springs.
I had Carrizo Springs as well. They won 47-0. Dehanus versus Church St. Paul. Who'd you have?
Dehanus.
I had Dehanus as well. They won 14-0.
What about the Hondo Lido?
It's making me go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Kennedy Progresso. Kennedy versus Progresso. Excuse me.
I had Kennedy.
I had Kennedy as well. Kennedy won 47-0. What was the other one that you just said?
Lido Hondo.
Lido Hondo.
And then we missed Odessa Del Rio also.
Yeah, that one's coming up. What's
Brandon picked Hondo.
Did he?
up? Hey, well,
I picked Hondo also. Who won?
I don't see it.
Come on, man.
Okay, Odessa Del Rio. I had Del Rio, and you picked Del Rio.
I picked Odessa.
Okay, Odessa won 49-0,
That's a bet.
and we're looking for Hondo
Lido.
Lido.
And we might have tied it right there. Hold it.
Pirates.
5, 10,
In high school, I didn't like them at all. I really didn't like any teams in our district.
Nah, you're up.
Lido. It's not on here.
I have to look it up after the game.
Yeah. All right. So San Marcos versus Holmes. Who'd you have?
I had San Marcos. Yeah, I had San Marcos.
I had San Marcos as well. Holmes won 35-34. Johnson or O'Connor? Who'd you
I had
have?
Johnson.
I had Johnson as well. Johnson won 50-21. Now, did you have Taft or Vets Memorial?
I got breaking news for you, man. Hondo won 27-12.
Okay, thank you. I had Hondo.
I had Hondo.
All right.
All right.
Did you have Vets or Taft?
I had Vets Memorial.
I had Vets as well, and Taft won. You know what? So that's it for our pick'ems right here. But we got a couple minutes. You know what? Shout out to the schools like yourself at Kennedy and Vets playing up divisions and testing yourselves and being undefeated and because I know kids, I know we did, back when we would play like the 4 and 5A schools because it wasn't no 6A back then.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd be like, oh shoot, we're 3A playing that school. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you start hanging your hats on these dubs, when you're going out here in your Floresville and you're playing the 5A schools and you're putting up these wins, that stuff is noticed. That stuff's noticed, especially from coach to coach. It's like, that's, props to all the smaller schools beating the bigger schools.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So who won this week?
I don't know. I'm looking for these other scores. Ingram or Johnson right now.
We call that grasping for straws.
Nah, you can go off right now. So right now I just saw Johnson City beat Ingram more.
Okay. Johnson City beat Ingram more?
Yeah, 55-0.
Let's see.
And I had Ingram more, so that's another L. Who did you have?
Who did I have? I had Johnson City.
Okay, let me see. You keep talking, Chief.
Okay. I just want to hear how a W sounds. That's yeah.
Let me see. 5, 10.
So this has been episode 127 of Along the Wire. Coach Harrison, do you have Twitter? Do you have a way that people can reach out to you and get in contact with you if need be?
Yes,
Not a phone number.
No, not a phone number. No, I do have a Twitter handle. It's at I think it's. I don't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
This is new to me. I'm trying to get out there, but at Coach M Harrison on Twitter.
At Coach M Harrison, simple and good.
We'll go. You got 43. I got 37. Even if I do some research, I don't think I'll beat you today.
Okay.
So congratulations.
But, yes. So we're also running an overall tally. So you're up 2 because you beat me by 9 last week. So overall, you're up 2.
Oh, you're keeping the point differential.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
Exactly.
Okay.
This guy.
This guy.
I'm just.
This.
I mean, you could do 1-1, but I mean, I keep the
Like-
differential on everything. So
All right, cool.
yeah, sweet. So this has been episode 127. Make sure y'all follow Coach Harrison. He's doing great things over at Kennedy. He's been a great man, a consistent person and human being, and someone that I will continue to support, and someone that I always want to reach out to and keep tabs on. So you'll definitely be hearing about him a lot more with Along the Wire and some kids too, because you were telling me about your outside linebacker you have.
Yeah, we got some young guys, juniors that are pretty good for us. Last year we had an all area defensive ends at San Antonio Express. It was Ethan
Right.
Jernowski, great
Awesome.
kid, hard worker, outside linebacker Alfredo Romero.
Mhm.
We also got some senior kids, man. Senior defensive lineman Nicholas Rodriguez. Shout out to him. He's a great kid, works hard. And shoot offensively, man. We got weapons everywhere. We got Daniel Sanchez at running back. We got Max Sandoval. We got some really great kids, seniors that are leading this team in the right direction.
And putting
Awesome.
in work, and there's a reason that they're 2-0 right now, and trying to keep things going positive heading into district as they look to take on Burbank.
Yep.
And make sure you follow me at B Damone on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook at Along the Wirecast, and on Instagram at Along the Wire. And you can follow Coach Gomez on Twitter at
STX7v7.
STX7v7. So this has been Along the Wire, episode 127. Surprise! Let us know what you think. I will be tweeting this out. And as always, we are interactive. Everybody be safe out there. Peace. Hook 'em. Birds up. 210. We out.